Um, and it's food for thought. We have 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks to work on it, but just something to think about. In the special tefillah for Hanukkah, we say Al Anisim, Bal Porkan, Bal Agrus, Bal Chuos, Bal Mechamas. Shasis La Vasein B'Yim Heim B'Zman Hazeh. I have two questions on this tefillah. Actually, three questions. I don't know if I'll answer them all, but I'll try to do my best. First of all, it's five things we're thanking Hashem for. Or, right, it's in Birkas Modim. Al Anisim, the first thing is the miracles. Bala Porkan, you could translate that as Pidyon, redemption. V'gvuros, acts of might. Shuos, salvation. Milchamos, and the wars, right? So, why this order? Nisim, Porkan, Gvuros, Shuos, Milchamos. Question number one. Question number two, right? Milchamos. We're thanking Hashem for Milchamos. I understand the miracles, the Porkan, the redemption, the Gvuros, the acts of might, of Hashem's might, Shuos, the salvation, Milchamos. We're thanking Hashem for Milchamos. And especially these days, I just heard on great tragedy, two more soldiers were killed. I think it's up to 50 soldiers already have been killed. And how do you thank Hashem for Milchama? Milchama is a terrible, terrible thing. So that is and the order here. Right? Why these things and why the order? And what about Milchamos and the plural? Why is it in plural? Right. So I think the answer why it's in plural is very simple. Yeah, we say right? We're not just talking about the wars that took place in the times of Hashmonaim, right? We're talking about really all the wars. And it's a beautiful idea here from Rev Yoel Schwartz. Yoel Schwartz was a mashgiach for many years of Torah Yerushalayim. He wrote over 100 svarim, I believe. I think you could still purchase them in his wife's store in Gula. And he says a beautiful idea. And he really asks the question in Ma'at Sur. What do we say in Ma'at Sur? We thank Hashem for the miracles of Hanukkah. We also thank Hashem for Purim and for the Yetzias Mitzrayim. So he says the concept is like this: that when you thank Hashem, when you feel inspired, you have to thank Hashem for everything, not just what's in front of you, right? Thank Hashem for everything, because the moments of inspiration are few and far between, right? The moment you get inspired, especially on Hanukkah, we have the candles and the tefillas, so you really have to thank Hashem for everything. So that's the plural. It's really the plural. We're not just thanking Hashem for what happened then. We're thanking Hashem for what happened now, right? You hear the stories that are coming out about the miracles of this war. It's incredible. The miracles of war. Someone just told me last night, my wife told me, that there's a girl who went off the derech. I won't say what community she's from, but she was at the party. Apparently the party wasn't just on Simchas Torah. It was a Masiba Arucha, right? A few days. And Friday afternoon, she said, I used to be Shomer Shabbos. I'm not going to stay at a party on Shabbos, right? And she convinced some other girls to come with her, and their lives were saved because they lived. Right? Another story that's going around, we just spoke to Rav Israel Auerbach about it, is that there was a Baal Tshuva of a couple of months. He was in Moshav Be'eri, and he had a dream that Friday night that he should leave immediately. His Rebbe, who had just been passed away, came to him in a dream. He went back to sleep. It happened again. He went back to sleep. It happened again. After 3 times, he told his wife and children, we're getting in the car on Shabbos and we're leaving and we're going away. Right? Yes, Rav Zilberstein, and he said it was mutter to do that. That's called Pikuach Nefesh. Rav Israel Auerbach said the same thing. So it's not just thanking Hashem for the Nisim and the Porkan and the Chuas and the Grus, Milchamos that happened then, but they're happening still today. Right? These things are still happening today. And we're thanking Hashem for all of them. Right? So that's the plural. But why the order? Why this order? It's a little more difficult question. I don't believe I have a complete answer, but I believe I have the beginning of an answer. Right? One of the things which is most painful about what's going on now, the most painful thing is that we have 240 hostages captive, and we have all these young men whose lives are in danger, maybe young women as well, in Gaza. It's extremely painful. Right? But after that, the most painful thing is the fact that certain individuals in the upper levels of the army, not everybody, but certain ones, are saying that the reason we're being successful in this war is because of our own power. Right? It's very, very painful to hear. There are a lot of individuals who are talking about Hashem, and I even heard Bibi this past weeks has been saying Bezrat Hashem a lot. Kol hakavod to Bibi. Yeah. But the most important thing they come out of this war is the recognition that it's all from Hashem. The victory is from that, just like the tragedy, the sorrow came out from Hashem, the victory is also from Hashem's hands. And the more clearly it is from Hashem, the more difficult it is to deny. You could still do it, right? Once in a bookstore, somebody wrote a 500-page book how Kriyas Yamsuf was every 25 billion years, the planets line up and the waters of the Yamsuf split. It could be true, right? Number one is that Hashem, works miracles into the nature, number one. But number two, as Rav Chazkel Levitch said, the biggest miracle was to get 600,000, really 2 million Jews to do the same thing at the same time. The pacifier and the stroller and the baby bottle, and Aunt Susan has to pick up her crochet. So to get 3 million Jews across the Yamsuf. But the clearer, the more beyond nature is, so the more difficult it is to deny it. And that's why I believe we start with Al Hanis. And we finish with the Milchamas. If we would start with the Milchamas, and we would think, maybe it's the great prowess of the Israeli army, or the Hashmonaim. Rav Rev and Rav Chazkel Levitch used to talk about, if you go to Kfar Maccabi, you see these big muscle, bulging. And the Maccabis, they were sitting in caves learning Torah, and they didn't have one of these what's called special diets, protein diets. They're probably eating leaves and grass, I don't know what, or mud, I don't know what they're eating exactly. So the Milchama, the victory in the war with Hashmonaim, right? Rabbi Miyad Miyatim. And when we say Rabbi Miyad Miyatim, we mean like handful connected into that Greek army. So we have to start with thanking Hashem for the Nisim. If we would start with the Milchamas, we would think, Milchamas, we won the war. And we're going down. That's what I like to suggest. Nisim is the most clear. Korkan is the direct pidyon, redemption. Vuros is Hashem's might. Shuas is the general victory. And Milchamas is the war. So we go from top to bottom. What's most clear to what's least clear. And that gives us the clarity that everything is from Hashem, which is the point of Hanukkah. The point of Hanukkah is, as the Ramban says in Parshas Bo, from the Nisim Gedolim to learn the Nisim Yistar, to realize that everything is Hashem, and especially the wars that we're going through now, which is in full heat now. They went into the hospital there, and you're hearing all of these. Even President Biden, I heard President Biden give a drasha today on the radio. He said 5 to 6 times a day he's in touch with both sides to try to release the hospitals, number one. And number two, he said they're doing tactics which are international banned. The more important, the more pikuach nefesh it is in the hospital, the more weapons they have there. In the Rengen and this and the incubators, the less likely it is someone to come in there, the more dangerous the weapons they have there. So this is what we have to realize. We're going to have a victory here. It's going to be because we recognize Hashem, and that's the point of the war, and that's the point of the victory. The point of this war is to get a clear recognition of Hashem. We hope, right? The point of this war is, as the Zohar says, before Mashiach comes, there'll be 9 months of severe Arab oppression. We hope we hope that we're in that 9 months now. When I spoke to Rav Safrani, the Zohar says there'll be 9 months of severe Arab oppression, and then Mashiach will come. Severe Arab oppression, right? And then Mashiach will come. When the 9 months don't we start? Although I spoke to Rav Safrani on Shabbat, he said 1 month down. That's what he told me. So I may have been Yavin. But in any event, I believe this is the idea. Right? We're starting from what's most clear and then working down, because that's the point. The point is the clarity about the Milchamas. The reason for the Nisim and the Porkan and the Gruas and the Gruas and the Chuas is all to recognize the Milchamas are from Hashem. That the victory in the war is from Hashem. It's really, really critical. Just one more point. I remember I was at the Levaya of Rabbi Leib Steinmetz. Yeah, this was, I don't know, how many years ago? Not so many years ago. And picked up it was before Hanukkah, right? It was Arab Hanukkah. I picked up Chasam Sofer and I opened it up to what he says about Hanukkah, and he was just blown away. He asked the question, why would they Hashem for the Milchamas? So I answered that question, what I'm saying. I'll tell you what he says. Right? He says, because we have to realize that Milchamas is also something to thank Hashem. Right? We have to realize, even though it's painful and or the loss of life definitely hurts us, and the fact that so many Jews are still displaced from their homes, and so many Jews have been terrorized and hurt and killed violently. So many terrible things have happened. But we know that the Milchamas is also good. So part of this whole process, part of this tefillah, is to realize the Milchamas is part of the process, that the wars are part of the process. And as painful it is, especially we have one of our Talmidim there, and everybody you meet has somebody there in Gaza who is, nobody knows what's going to be with them. And they're involved with very, very dangerous operations now, going basically from town to town, from house to house. The printer just told me today that his son is in, I forgot which Arab town, that's right next to the border. And that was the town when they ripped open the fence, who came in and pillaged the village, physically, monetarily, and other ways we won't speak about. And so they're going in there today. And these are not exactly the most friendly people. So you can imagine this is not something simple. In any event, this is the idea. And the 3 weeks we have before Hanukkah, we think about this, that every time we hear news about the war, right, our first thought should be, what is Hashem doing? Rev says that during in the war in 48, he was in Panovich, I believe, and they used to send the shliach every day to the Briskerov to ask him what was happening. He would tell him what's happened yesterday, why what happened yesterday, why happened today, and where it was going. Right, where it was going. I remember during the operation, what's it called? Ferris Sukkah, Catsled. So every week, Sternberg would say what happened and where it was going. And it was on the mark completely. Right? So Baruch Hashem, we have people like that. We have people like that who can help us. Not like we once had. We don't have a Brisker Rav, and we don't have a Chasim Sofer, and we don't have a Rambam, and we don't have certainly Tanoim, Amroyim, but we have our Amunah. And by thinking about these things and by listening to what's going on and attributing it to Hashem, anything happens, thank Hashem. Anything happens, thank Hashem. And certainly we should be most in episode for the Shvuyim. I took upon myself. I realized there's 240 of them. It's hard to daven for all of them every day, right? But pick one story that really moves you. Personally, I was moved by this 2-year-old girl who's there, Aviv Bas Daron. I've been davening for her and her whole family. Her mother and her sister, Raz Bas Daron, they're also there, right? Pick one person, one story, and try to feel for that one soldier, like we're all davening here from Moshe Shimon, Ben Devorah Sarah Alicia. You can daven for it. It's Pikuach Nefesh. The tefillah is Pikuach Nefesh. We hope they're alive. Unless you know they're dead, you can still daven. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Right? It's something Pikuach Nefesh. Right? Hazanish says that tefillah is a bigger stylist than anything. It's the best thing possibly do. Right? And it's a tremendous chus for her that other people are davening and for her and coming close to Hashem because of that. In any event, what we could do to be more connected to the tremendous sorrow that's going on, davening for the prisoners, davening for the soldiers, davening for the people displaced. We go down 5-10 minutes from here to the Knish Echad, which Knish is it? And the hotels are full of people from the south, from the north. These are people who don't have necessarily any work, they don't have proper parnasa, they're displaced from their homes. And it's a tragedy for all Klal Yisrael. Just because things are quiet in Yerushalayim doesn't mean that we should be complacent. We should feel for them, number one. And number two, to think about these 5 things. And the more we think about it before, the more we'll benefit from Chanukah. What was it, Rav Yerocham used to say that you don't go through Yontif. Yontif should go through you. And in order to make the proper impact, you have to be ready for it, you have to be prepared, you have to be inspired, and you really have to be in the right frame of mind to go into Hanukkah and get the most out of it. And this year we have such an opportunity for what's going on to see Hashem's hand so clearly. Hashem's going to see Ati Shemaya, we should be Zayfe to see the real miracle, the big miracles of Bias Goyal at Manchins.